want to talk about the new hiring of Brandon Sparks for USA Rugby's women's high performance manager position. Now, I think the first thing I have to say, first and foremost, is wow, congratulations. We finally got a U.S. person in a position of power to be a part of the whole USA structure. Congratulations, U.S. We finally kind of kept something at home. Let's get Scott Lawrence on the call next one. All right. But I think this one is also really important because you got a guy like Brandon Sparks who's, already has his connections with the MLR and has built a structure at the MLR with the academy system of the Utah Warriors, and of course put a competitive team on the field each year when during his time as general manager for the Utah Warriors. So I think that there's something that goes along with that. I do. There's history of him having leadership on programs like University of Michigan, the Berkeley All Blues, the Women's Premier League. And getting a guy who seems to know the lay of the land. But what is more important is just being able to have a clear understanding of what it takes to get them from point A to point B. And I think with the women's side, which has been one of the least funded, least appreciated, but most successful sides of rugby for us. I think for the sevens team, we know this. Our sevens team is been dominant in so many aspects outside of the Olympics, where we seem to flop a little bit in that. We do flop in that, but within the HSBC structure, within qualifiers and head-to-head games, USA women have definitely been bar none. And then from the 15 side, obviously we're in a rebuild. Since the pandemic has not been particularly spectacular, but again, we're talking about budget issues. We're talking about a team that literally pays to go play, which is insane, which is different than the sevens team that gets IOC money from the Olympic Committee in the USA. So it's been a little bit tougher, but we've been able to see a lot of talent growth. And I think that's one area that we can use as a model structure for what happens for the men's side, because with the women's side, and it sounds terrible to say, but it's almost like you don't care enough, so they literally can do whatever. It reminds me of whenever they did, Sony made Into the Spider-Verse for the first time. And the first one, with Miles Morales and everything like that. And you could tell that Sony at the time of making that did not think that property was going to do as well as it did. So they let the directors, Chris Lloyd and the guys who made the Lego movie, they let them do what they wanted to do. And of course, you created a successful product. And now Sony's getting their hands all in it. And now they're doing too much. But, you get that ability to be creative with it because people don't feel like it needs to get the funding that it truly should deserve to be. So under Brandon Sparks, and obviously now with the new head coach for the women's team, it should hopefully create a little bit more synchronization in bringing in more talent and elevating that, because we should be absolutely destroying Canada. All right, hands down. Shout out to Canada. I know they've been good. The women's side been good, but we should be destroying them. We should be number one within North America, hands down. And then Australia, I feel like we're more competitive against Australia from a sevens position. And then New Zealand obviously is the big kahuna that we need to take down. From the 15 side, we definitely need to bring in more talent and just be able to cycle in consistently. Though my feeling is still that it should be 7 sides and 15 sides should be combined, and buck the trend of separating the 15s and the 7 side. Just make sure you have depth to be able to protect the bodies. But outside of that, do what you need to do to get the best talent and get the best production and get performances, so you can let these teams be self-funded and be able to be self-reliant on making things go. And, shout out to those who have been financially able to support them, but like they need the story, like they're doing the work. We need to not be like the women's national team for soccer. We need to give them the work because they're holding us up while it is, But I'm looking forward to seeing what Brandon Sparks does within the community. it seemed like there was a huge praise that goes with it. Again, being part of the Utah Warriors, they set up their the communication system with the lives and the videos and the draft process and updating and being able to keep communicative. I think with the women's side, the biggest creativity should be able to come from it. So a lot of pressure is on Brandon to be able to make sure he does it. And hopefully we can get him on the program and talk a little bit about it and, maybe not be so, politically correct. He's a former GM. So, coaches speak is very well possible. But I'm legitimately interested to see what's going to end up happening with him. Though, there's things that people have pullbacks on, coaching level. There's been talks that he's a level 2 coach that might not be particularly high, or what is, even despite working with things like the Berkeley All Blues and stuff like that. But, again, these are stuff that are just out there. In the end, you need to just make sure you have the instincts, especially at an administrative level, the instincts, the experience, and the know-how to be able to create systems that people can easily understand and can easily follow, that will filter and provide the provisions to get the best players and not just the best players that are available based off of a cost or something like that that's there for you. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear more about this from you guys and what your thoughts are on all of this going forward.